That's like good art, isn't it? Taking risks. There's also that nostalgia for wanting time to stand still. A message of love from the Angel Oracle deck that you can return to and think about when times seem a little bit tough. Hi everyone and welcome, my name is Dora, and in today's video I'm talking to you about creativity and motherhood, and specifically for those of us who feel like we are mourning that pre-motherhood creative self and we don't quite know how to access that anymore. So I've decided that I was going to do this as a get ready with me, as I talk through what's on my mind with this specifically. Now this was a special request from a dear friend who's also a client, and this came out of the Monday audio notes that I send out every Monday to my members. I've been asking lately, from the themes that I've been talking about, what is showing up for you? And then I use that to now pick that out and talk about. And I think I quite like this get ready with me format, and it fits into that how to be creative in motherhood as well. I think maybe on some level I need to like wave goodbye to the idea that I'm gonna have like this perfect video that is gonna take ages to film, even longer to edit, you know, scripting it in advance, like what am I actually gonna say, la 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 la. Instead, why don't I just show up, come as I am, wet hair, no makeup on, do the thing that I love to do to reconnect with my own creativity, reconnect with myself and my body. It's just soothing. It's like a little mini spa treatment for me. There's a spiritual side of it as well, I think. The use of colors and the sensual element of like using your hands, sensory even, I should say. I'm digressing, but yeah, why not show up as I am and do this super chatty get ready with me while I discuss a certain topic that has been requested from my Monday Audio Notes members. If there are any requests that you might have as well, those of you watching, leave them in the comments below, and I'd love to hear, and I'd love to dedicate one chit-chatty video to that as well in the future. But anyway, let's jump into the video. So here's me from earlier on chatting to you about creativity and motherhood. I hope you enjoy. Yeah, maybe you can go and get ready alongside me, even if you've got nowhere to go, even if it's late in the evening and you're literally gonna wash this all off right after. It doesn't matter. You're worth it. Yes. All right. I've also got my angel deck here. This is Diana Cooper. It's not very fancy, but I love the messages on there. I tend to only read out from those. And then I've also got my Mystic Mondays tarot deck here. I think we could like pull a couple of cards at some point. If we can take creativity with us into our daily, everyday life, into our little routines, and sort of, you know, since we've already given up on that whole idea of having like endless time to go about and do our art, since we don't really have that anymore because everything is so limited in terms of time. But I think if we can accept that some of our art can also be a slightly different thing, as long as we're doing something creative. Yeah, whether it's like playing with colors in some kind of way, maybe that's already like getting those creative juices going, so that when you then do find the time to sit down and do your actual art, that you've already been doing creative shit all the time. Should I be cursing or not? Like, I don't care, but a lot of people care. Let me know in the comments. Tapping into loads of different ways in which you can be creative that are separate to your actual art form is already like just a lovely way of harnessing, growing, amplifying, working out, training that creative muscle, so to speak. Yeah, and I think anything that we do with the body, like makeup as well, there's something really soothing as well, because creativity does run through your body as well, doesn't it? It's not just, even if it's something that you do with your mind, like if you're a writer, it's still felt on the physical level too, right? Like we're working through emotions, yeah, and emotions are always felt on a physical level too. Yeah, well, a very lucid video here, but here we go. Yeah, so I think, yeah, different ways of trying to like really play and get pleasure and play back into our day-to-day in these small pockets of time that we've got available to us as mums is amazing. I mean, the reason I've got a timer is because, you know, I need to pick up my son from school. So, but still, I could be like doing other stuff now that might seem a little bit more urgent, but this seemed like something for the soul. Any kind of ideas that you have, if you can find a practice of noting that down in some kind of way, that might be really useful, just to start collecting that and to get back into the habit. Or if you've already been doing that, why not go through that and see if you can pick something out and just say, all right, I'm gonna go with that now, and I'm only gonna, maybe, you know, you've only got those 20 minutes, but you're gonna set that timer and say, all right, I'm gonna do whatever I can in that time. No pressure and no end goal. The only goal is to actually do something, and not to say, oh, after this session, I'm gonna have a finished song or a draft of whatever. No, you won't, you know, but you might. But that way, as long as you're doing something, I think it's the practice. Everyone talks about creative practice as well. It's something that we do regularly. All right, okay, eyeshadow. I am going to, yeah, I'm gonna do this one. And then I'm using the eyeshadow called Rebirth. It's true though, right? Every time we create something new, a new project, it is a rebirth of something. I'm thinking of like how music artists often tend to, the good ones, they tend to reinvent themselves with every album. So it is a rebirth, isn't it? Did I just hit pan? Wow, okay, if you don't know this, I'm a makeup panner and I've just hit pan in this. This is amazing, yes. Makeup panning is where you try and hit that shiny pan at the bottom of a eyeshadow. That's where the name comes from, but essentially you're just trying to work through your makeup collection, trying to finish things, and it's great joy and it's satisfying and there's a lovely community. Yeah. Okay, tangent. I got very distracted by that. Yeah, and let's remember for a minute, we are mums, we know this. Birth is painful. It is a painful and still an incredibly beautiful process. But it does come with pain. It's a painful journey to give birth to something, which, interestingly, in astrology, creativity and birthing a human being or birthing a project, that sits in the same house of your astrological chart. There is some similarity there, right? It is a painful process, but it's also wow and life-changing and amazing, and yeah. So let's bear that in mind. No one's ever produced anything remotely genius without also putting a lot of metaphorical blood, sweat and tears into it. Yeah, I don't know why I keep doing that. I'm worried, I guess, that I'm gonna have lipstick on my teeth, so here we go. Yeah, but coming back to finding more time of, you know, to reconnect with who we are creatively. It is a practice. And yeah, maybe if you like list making as much as I do, maybe it might be a good moment to kind of go, what are all these different things that I do in a day that I can creatify or that I can turn into some kind of creative play element where I can add that kind of thing to it. Randomly, I'm thinking like how, was it Jay-Z who was initially, when he became a rapper, he was just probably with his Walkman at that point, back in the day, trying to learn off by heart lyrics of existing hip-hop tracks that he liked, and then later he would write himself and kind of use the time that he had on the underground, on the subway, to write. Yeah, so I wonder, like, where can we do that kind of writing in those moments that where we are on our own, kind of, even if we might be, you know, amongst other people, but we have that time where we're not, essentially where we're not having to entertain a child. Okay, let's remember for a minute, you are creative. So your creative challenge here now is to come up with a creative solution of being creative in a new way. I think also, because creativity is problem solving, isn't it? That's what it comes down to. I mean, yes, there's also the arty element, but essentially you can be creative without being artistic, and then it is problem solving, thinking of new solutions. So maybe the first task is to find new creative solutions of being creative in your day-to-day life with those different boundaries, because that's another thing that we need. Creativity does need parameters, it does need boundaries. An artist who paints needs a canvas, for example. Something to say, all right, here is where my art is taking place, and outside of that, it stops. At least for that piece that I'm doing. But then essentially their entire life is art as well, isn't it? Yes, it's getting very deep here. Okay, cool. I need to tidy that up. Wow, I look like I've been, I don't know, out last night or something. Fun. Wouldn't have that have been amazing? I think we have to accept the fact that the content of our creative art might be different now. And I know we've had a conversation about this where we said, you know, the themes of what we might be writing about, how they change as you get older or as you're in a different phase of life. And yeah, I think that's true for everyone. Your art changes, your content changes as you go through different phases in your life, for sure. But who says that we have to stick to our original content plan? Just to put it in like really blunt, strangely modern terms. If you're gonna make your art about something different than you would have done before, so what it's about in terms of the subject, the topic, the theme, if that's something new now that you're thinking about doing, it's like, of course, you know, you're gonna compare yourself to other artists, maybe peers, doing something similar, and you might be like, oh, but I can't really, there aren't that many out there who do that kind of thing, or of the ones that I do know or I have come across, I find it kind of lame. Maybe that's something that you know, we might be thinking. But actually, that's a great opportunity to create something really unique and own it and make it your own. That's like good art, isn't it? Taking risks and doing something that is a little bit out of the ordinary and a little bit groundbreaking, and not like regurgitating what others have done before, but obviously putting your unique stamp on it. Yeah, so be bold with that. Mothers, you know, we are creative anyway. Creating life is creative. Is, you know, we create, we nurture. There's definitely something in that, I would say. Always have to come up with solutions. Just thinking of that 5th house, because that's where creativity sort of resides in everyone's chart. And Venus as well, yeah, of course. But yeah, it's, a lot of that is to do with pleasure as well. Pleasure and play. There's so many different ways you can almost, yeah, maybe sometimes it takes like gamifying what you're doing. Give yourself little prompts. You know, could you like write down a whole ton of prompts? Like, I don't know, write 4 lines that rhyme, a poem, whatever, a short poem, and do like a prompt. I don't know, maybe there's something like a random word generator or something like that you could use for that, and just like write a ton of prompts on like bits of paper, and then whenever you're like, okay, now I've got, you know, actually maybe dedicate a specific time, an hour to it, and then say, all right, I know I've got that 1 hour slot on, like, say, a Monday at 12 p.m. You pull one of those prompts and say, all right, I'm gonna just try. Just for yourself. Make a note of all these things that you do. Maybe not just in your phone, maybe it's about using a book and like a journal, you know, putting it all in there. Going through the existing stuff that you already have. Ideas, photographs, little video clips, bits of writing, and producing and adding more and more to that, but also then going back and actually looking at it. There's also that pain in there and that nostalgia for wanting time to stand still, and for wanting to sometimes wishing our life like back to where it used to be. Let's remember for 1 minute. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna say that first, even if it might sound a little bit depressing. But that is sad that we can't do that. But also we are idolizing the past. And let's remember for a minute that I know that a lot of the times that I'm now nostalgic about, I know that I was like struggling then as well. We have a tendency to sometimes block out some of those boring or negative or painful moments, and to only like really hold on to the beautiful stuff. And I think that's amazing. What a great gift that is to be able to do that. But yeah, I think even though it's sad that we can't make time stand still, let's just remember that we've got the present moment and we've got our entire future ahead of us. And yeah, we're gonna like, the times we're having right now, we're gonna be nostalgic for that in 10, 20, 30, 40 years down the line. We will. So just imagine you're a movie star and your life is a movie with all of its ups and downs and tears and goosebumps and all of it. Yes. All right. Okay. How can we reconnect to our former pre-motherhood creative self. The card I've got here is the 10 of Pentacles. Okay, I love this. This is like a card of completion. And also, I always think of community with this one. Yeah. Definitely a card of community. Pentacles are the earth element, so this definitely relates to the body as well. Something from the physical realm. You're not in this on your own. Remember that. Reach out to others. Make sure that you join communities or seek out those communities. And remember, you don't have to join them. You can like peek into them at first, like whether that is a local community where you can do like maybe a choir, for example, you know, where you can do like a trial session and then decide whether you want to keep going or not. Or you can like look at these online communities, like peep in before you then start to like interact and engage with people. But maybe it's about like seeking those communities and finding those like-minded people who are going through similar stuff, and then yeah, just exchanging, you know. Definitely. I know we've got that going with our Creative Mum Circle already. Yeah, when we like meet up monthly on Zoom and we talk about the ups and downs and we cheer each other on and get our projects done, essentially. Yes. I think that's really important. Community is a massive thing. Maybe the same thing is true for your creative project. You don't have to carry that on your own, on your shoulders. You don't have to solve it on your own. A message of love from the Angel Oracle deck that you can return to and think about when times seem a little bit tough. And like, you know, your creative former self seems so far away, like it seems an entire lifetime away. And you feel that you've lost that part of you forever. I know you haven't, you know you haven't, but here's something for you to remember. Beauty. The outer world is a reflection of your inner, so focus on the beauty within yourself, your good qualities, your kindness, your gifts and talents. Remember that whatever you give attention to increases and grows. Everyone has some beauty in their soul, so seek it in others. Remind them of their qualities and you will illuminate them. Surround yourself with things and people with a beautiful vibration, for we are all influenced by that which is around us. As you tune more and more into the incredible wonder of yourself, others, and the planet, your resonance becomes that of beauty. Others will perceive the radiance of your soul and be touched by it. Yes. Here's an affirmation. I recognize my beauty and that of others. Go out into nature as well. Of course, Venus, creativity, she is nature as well. Definitely, definitely, definitely. And there's another thing I wanted to say. I'm going to read that last sentence again. Others will perceive the radiance of your soul and be touched by it. And that radiance of your soul shines through your creations, through your art. And the world needs that. Always does. And maybe a little bit now more than ever. Or maybe a lot now more than ever. We need that. I don't think life would be worth living without the creative work that others have so generously shared with us. And it does really touch our soul. And the fact that you miss your creativity, I think, is a sign that it's not just you who misses it, but there's others who miss it just as much, but they don't know how to do your specific and your unique art. So Share it abundantly. Practice your creativity, practice your creative art. Beautify your life, bring that creativity into the mundane. Find more and more of that, and don't judge yourself. Easier said than done, but just send it out there, full of flaws. Yeah, one last thing on that. Think of like some of your most loved works of art. How perfect are they really? And how much of that perfection actually comes from those beautiful flaws in there? I know that for me, when it comes to music, any kind of art I love, it's because it's got that human touch, which is not perfect as if a machine had made it. So, yeah, dare to be different, dare to make mistakes, and keep sharing your art and keep practicing. Love you so much. Take care. Bye.